Good morning. All right. So I know we have an excited group here today, but coaches, administrators, principals, and central office staff, thank you for joining us this morning. This morning I have the pleasure to introduce kind of why we're here, but also introduce some friends behind me, and I can't see them, so hopefully they're behaving. But I really want to thank you, coaches and administrators, for taking your time to be here on something that's really, really important for our school district, for our community, and really for the entire NFL experience. And so, first and foremost, thank you to the Dallas Cowboys for a wonderful breakfast and hosting this event. So let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. And I know some of you have already asked if we're going to do this every day. We're not. This is a special occasion, but again, thank you for you being here today. So today we're going to talk about the NFL draft that's coming to Arlington and to the Dallas Cowboys, and how they and the school district, how we're working together to make sure that the experience that occurs here is also tied into our student experience. And our students are very fortunate and very blessed to have the leadership that we have in the Dallas Cowboys to include and to partner with us on some important activities while the draft is occurring. And so we're going to talk today about the different activities and different ways to connect our students to the NFL experience. But as you listen to all that, the most important thing is that we have our students for just a short period of time. And it is up to us as the adults to make sure that their learning experience, their character experience, the experience that they have with the world outside of us is a positive one, and it's one that gears them up for success in the future. And so, again, we're blessed to be in partnership with the Dallas Cowboys and the NFL in having tangible, real experiences for our students as this NFL draft comes. And we know that in our school district, opportunities for success is what we're about. And as these young people see the draft and the opportunities that athletes have, that they too be inspired. Be inspired not only to have those opportunities as athletes, but be inspired to serve our community, and to serve their schools, and to serve their families. And so with that, I'm pleased and proud to introduce a friend of ours, a friend of our school district, and a friend of the city. And I'll introduce Jeff Williams, our mayor. Acknowledge him. Thank you for being here, Jeff. But introduce a friend of our school district that has always partnered. And so when we think about all our fifth graders, for example, having an art experience here at the stadium, where our fifth graders come and they review the art that's outstanding, world-class art in this stadium. And then they go back and reflect on that artwork. And those doors are opened by the Dallas Cowboys. And they pay for everything, including our transportation, to get our kids from our school to the stadium. And then host a wonderful event for our students. And these are fifth graders who have a life-changing experience at fifth grade that they otherwise wouldn't have. We talk about NFL, the Play 60, and the experiences that kids have with healthy living, and all these wonderful opportunities that the Dallas Cowboys provide in partnership with AISD. And so the leader of that, and our friend, the Chief Brand Officer for the Dallas Cowboys, is Charlotte Jones Anderson. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you, Dr. Cavazos, and I'm sure all of you all will agree with me. I have a lot of opportunity across the country to work with a lot of different school districts and a lot of different superintendents. You all have a rock star in Dr. Cavazos, and I can tell you that because it takes a lot of effort, a lot of work, a lot of dedication to the kids that you coach to see a vision that is beyond what your typical day looks like. There are plenty of things on your plate that you do through the course of your day and that Dr. Cavazos does with the school district. But when he sees an opportunity that will enhance the value of the education they're receiving here in Arlington, not only does he jump on it, he inspires everybody to jump in with him to make that even bigger and better. So our hats are off to you, Dr. Cavazos, for allowing us to have that opportunity to share great experiences with the students throughout Arlington. And also want to thank Mayor Williams for being here today. This has been a journey to get the NFL draft here in Arlington and in the city in the Metroplex that we live in DFW. So we are thrilled that it's coming. Now that the Super Bowl is finally over and we're all 0-0 and have a chance to fight for it one more time, we are on the clock for the 2018 NFL draft. And that means it's coming here. We know that we have the most passionate fans in the NFL with the Dallas Cowboys. We know there are passionate fans about the game of football right here in our Metroplex. Probably no better Friday night lights than right here at AT&T Stadium, and we have certainly seen some impressive games that have taken place out here. But we know that you all care so much about the kids at every level of the game, from the youth level to middle school on into, of course, varsity. And because of you is the reason why we want to partner with you guys to make that experience even better and to give your students and your athletes a chance to be a part of the influence of what the NFL draft can be about. You know we're passionate about the game, but we all share a similar passion about what the game is beyond the field. And every day that you go into work, and every student's life that you touch, you know you have an opportunity to make a significant impact in the life of that student. Those future leaders of tomorrow are in your hands. You know that the game, and the game that we celebrate and that we love, the competition of the game is much greater than that. You know the values of the game. You know what it means to coach leadership. You know the value of teamwork. You know what it means to bring kids together that don't look like each other, that learn how to respect each other and raise their own game and their team game to another level. You do that every day. You teach them determination. You teach them respect. You teach them perseverance. You teach them how to get up after they've been knocked down. I know that as a parent of a sophomore football player. I know that every day I sit at my kitchen table every morning and I tell my son how to be a great leader today. And I drop him off at school and I yell that out the window and he rolls his eyes and he goes into school. But when he hits 8th period with you all, that is where he learns how to be a leader. That's where my words disappear and your words take root. You teach him the value of his teammate. You teach him how to be better tomorrow than it was today. You teach him that it's okay to fail, but you also teach him how to succeed. And as a parent, there is no greater appreciation than I have than for the coaches who touch the lives of my son. So I thank you all in this room for what you do every day to build our future, for what you give constantly every day to inspire the kids that you have the opportunity to touch. You know it's about them, but you also know that our game is much more than that. That it's about that game on the field, but it's about the community that surrounds them. You bring out the cheerleaders, you bring out the drumline, you bring out the art students, you bring everybody together in your school because of the game on the field. And in that, you inspire a community to be great. You inspire through sport the value of what the game is off the field. Well, we are going to take your athletes and your students, and we're not only going to show them how great they are, but they're going to show the community how great the community is. And we thank you in advance for the extra work, but also the extra excitement that this NFL draft hopefully will bring to your locker room, but more importantly, what the inspiration it will create for this community and beyond. So thank you for your dedication. Thank you for loving our kids, and thank you for showing them the value of leadership. But there's no better person that's going to help us inspire that in our kids than the great DeMarcus Ware. We are so excited that he is back home in Dallas, that he is not only an exemplary, legendary player who deserves to have his name in this ring back here one day real soon, but he is also the epitome of great character, great confidence, great teamwork, but a great person. So please help me welcome the great DeMarcus Ware.
First of all, I just want to thank Charlotte for letting me and Drew Pearson be the ambassador for this program. You see the coaches, you see the teachers, the superintendents, and the mayor. All those are titles, but when I really look at this room, I see impact. An impact that can really last for a lifetime, especially in this community. And I'm so happy that it's starting from the elementary schools all the way to the driven high schoolers who have so much personality that they need that assistance, right? Through the draft, this NFL is really going to help us showcase how football can make an impact in this community, especially in this North Texas community, with the little intricate programs leading up to the draft. Why not bring the draft to AT&T stadiums, right, where stars are made, not just the Dallas Cowboys, but the young stars that we're trying to impact through the game shows and the installations and mentoring programs and those community projects that we have, that we can make our own little stars. I look forward to highlighting the impact of football and how it can go beyond the sport and leave a mark with a big legacy here in Arlington that can not impact just your lives, but also impact all those kids' lives. Over the 9 years I was playing with the Dallas Cowboys, everybody look at me as a football player, but it's amazing when you have those kids that come up to you and say thank you, not because you play football, it's because you lent that helping hand out, to those kids, and they sit right there and you see how now they're college graduates. Now they have great professional jobs. Those are the impacts in those times, those unknown times that you lend your hand out there, and now there are known entities in the world. So I just see it as over the 12 years, the Dallas Cowboys, they've been not just a team or America's team, they've been family. That's what they've really been predicating their motto after. They've been really helping cultivate lives and motivate young kids to blossom and to graduate college and to be, just better people. But also they've been helping to strive and teach our youth how to be better team workers, how to be, have strong character, but also have the spirit to give through all this volunteer work that we're trying to incorporate with these kids. I can't wait to have the opportunity to make a lasting impact on these students, both on and off the field, and have all of us having a strong community spirit, and as we head into the draft. The programs that we're going to hear about today, the community quarterback and the student athlete mentorship program, are just a few examples of what we'll happen to see through you guys' schools in the community. And I know there's going to be a video that we're going to show, but Emily and Whitney are going to go through all the initiatives, all the activations that we're going to have here. I'm telling you, you guys will understand how happy I am right now, because this right here is an opportunity of a lifetime to change the lives of the young kids. I know you guys can hear it in my voice. And when we make this impact, it's not just for 1 year. This is for years to come, because guess what? The draft is every year, so why can't we make an impact every year? So once we show this video, Emily and Whitney will come up and explain all the other initiatives, and I just want to say thank you guys for letting me, be the ambassador for Arlington.
So we're here to present, and you can follow along on the PowerPoint, 2 of the programs specifically that Arlington will be involved in, and we're thankful that you're here to support those initiatives. The first is the mentoring program. The Dallas Cowboys will challenge Arlington senior high school sports teams, both boys and girls, to put their inside-out character lessons into action by mentoring junior high school student athletes, creating peer-to-peer interaction, support, and encouragement between the teams. The goal of the program, by actively engaging the high school students as mentors for the younger athletes, hopefully bonds will be created that will remain intact as those junior high school students rise to take on a similar role.
So your timeline for completion of this project is fairly easy. Today's step one. We're going to meet, we're going to learn about the program, and then you have until March 1st, high school coaches, to get with your junior high counterparts to start formulating your game plan of how you want to activate. We want to encourage you to have at least 4 touch points between the teams by NFL Draft Week, so that we can create a full community calendar that encompasses all high schools, all junior highs, of how you're actually working together and mentoring each other. And on this calendar, we can look at it and see, all right, there's 8 schools activating this week, there's 4 schools activating next week, and we can share that with media and also help tell the story. And then obviously by draft week, we want to have those touch points in place. But what we want this to also do is encourage something that goes beyond draft. You know, we want these relationships to be formed and to be ongoing. Don't just use this program before draft, utilize it going forward too, because these junior high students, once they see the excitement that these high schoolers have, they're going to be your next players. So really almost, it's not a recruiting tool, but use it to make those relationships and kind of form those bonds. Various ways to execute this. It's going to be different for each group, but depending on your feeder neighborhoods. But go to each other's practices. Do a scrimmage, you know, not too competitive, but do skill sharing camps and things like that. Character discussions. You're already having these discussions in your athletic periods. Use the high schoolers as teachers. Come up with a discussion topic that they are going to lead for the junior highs students that week. Utilize those inside out character program lessons that you're receiving and use those high schoolers to really help you put those in place for the junior high students. Or do a joint community service project. Anything that works that falls into that kind of mentoring bucket. It doesn't have to be specific to the examples that we're giving. Ask the students what they want to do.
The next program is the Volunteer Challenge. The Cowboys would like to challenge Arlington high school football teams to reach out into their local communities and neighborhoods and feeder schools to determine a community service project to donate their time to and effort together as a team. This is a great opportunity for them to work together and give back as a team into their communities and help make a difference. The goal of the program is to create a spirit of volunteerism and community responsibility in Arlington's high school football programs, to showcase the positive character teachings and efforts being applied across the district.
By March 1st, we'd like you to at least have some kind of idea of what you're doing. Again, in your packet, we've got some forms that will help you kind of get to an answer and timeline of how you want to execute. And then one of the fun things we've kind of planned in this is we really want your student athletes engaged in helping you plan and execute this. So what we would like you to do is, that form is specifically set up and asking some specific questions that we would like the team or a small number of those teams, we're going to come into your high schools towards the end of March, and we would like them to actually pitch and present their program to Cowboys staff. So whether they do it in a PowerPoint, a skit, however they want to do it, we want them to be as engaged in the program as possible and have just as much investment in it as you do, that they are willing to kind of give us a presentation on this is what we're wanting to do, this is the kind of impact it's going to make, this is the kind of budget that we have for it. We do have some grant dollars available from the NFL Foundation for this program that each of the 6 teams can apply for, and there's an additional grant application form in there. But we're going to ask what those funds are for. You know, we want those kids to think about, all right, if we're going to go mow lawns or we're going to paint someone's house or plant trees, how much does that cost? We have potential money from the Cowboys coming for this, but if that doesn't cover it all, how are we going to fundraise for it? And just think through all of those steps. So trying to give you enough time to get through that, but it's not so complicated, and we'll be here to help along the way if there's issues. But just from a timeline perspective, kind of looking at that towards the end of March, and then going into April, planning and execution, and then our district-wide day of service being on either April 25th or April 26th. For everyone to, if not work on the project that day or do their project that day. We understand that depending on the school, it could be a long-term project that goes beyond draft, but just doing some work in the community, all of the 6 teams that same day.
The presentations should be fun. We'll have surprise guests, a community ambassador, Charlotte, the mayor, the superintendent, someone that might not normally walk into your school. So we hope that that will help also develop their presentation skills that they can use later in life. So there's a lot of things that go into this. So we're thinking through not just now, but in the future. So that will be exciting. Drew Pearson is another community ambassador that might just pop into your school to listen to their presentation. So it should be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
The other piece to that is the activation days. Just knowing that Wednesday and Thursday, we'd love to target those days. We're flexible on the timing of that as your projects are developed. But also, it's a great time for us to get to tell the story of your teams actively working together in the community and giving back. So again, it's not about just what they learn, but it's also for us to be able to share the story for your community to see what your kids are doing.
We'll be working with the NFL to have the draft picks, potential draft picks who are coming into town for draft, you know, those 1 through 20-ish numbers, to actually be out with the kids and executing that same day too with them and joining in their programs. So again, various ways to execute. We've given you a list of examples, but what we really want you to do is go into your communities and your schools and ask the kids that question. Look at your feeder schools. Does the elementary school need the teacher's lounge painted? Or something that's going to impact the kids that are still rising into your system. Or their direct neighborhoods. Maybe there's a street near the school that no one really mows their lawn. You know, let's take some lawnmowers out there and take care of it for them. Or maybe they're too elderly and they need some yard work done.
Okay, so what are your next steps? We'll just break that down real quickly. Your teams determine a project based on interest and need.
And then coaches, you'll work with your students to submit that project information sheet that's at your chair. Again, we'll make that digital for you so you don't have to handwrite it. And then the students will use that to kind of start formulating that presentation.
The next step, if funds are needed, you're welcome to submit a grant request to our Gene and Jerry Jones Family Foundation should the project have funding needs. So we can certainly take a look at that.
And then obviously that student presentation that happens in March, really using those 2 information pages as the guideline for the questions that we want answered and to see from those students. There's no wrong answer there. We're going to help them. It's just that, again, as Emily said, another step and another lesson as part of the process.
And then the final step is to work on and complete the service project between now and the days leading into the draft on that Wednesday and Thursday. And we'll be in communication with you. If you have questions, you can work with your district folk or with us. We're always available, so we're here to help the process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And really thinking how you can utilize the entire team. We know some of your rosters are large. So is that breaking them up into committees and planning groups and just putting them all on different tasks related to the whole?
And look forward to working with you, and thank you so much.